Alright folks, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's always a pleasure to see you. Hope we're all doing good. You'll be glad to know we're done with the first round. We're on to the next. Got quite a few good matches that we need to touch on today. So we'll waste no time in doing that. If you'd like the video for me, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not, I'd appreciate it if you did. Very close to 800 now folks. Let's see what you can do. Get yourself involved. I'd love to have you. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description and the pinned comments along with the pics and the timestamps and pretty much everything else that you'll need. But now that's out the way, first things first, did we manage to get any winners today? I'll go first. Anyone take the double? I mean, I'd love to say it was easy money, but it was anything of the sort. I don't know what was going on with the Francisco Comesaña match today, but we'll touch on that in a second. I'm happy it come in. I do have a couple of questions surrounding that match in particular, but you know, a win's a win. You've got to take him. You've got to take him, folks. I'm still happy with that. Great ship from Ugo Carabelli too. But we'll start off over in Bucharest once again, back in Romania. For the early games, we've got Ugo Carabelli and Filip Mislic. These have played each other once before. Mislic won that one. That was back in 2023 on the hard court. I'd say it was a walkover. It was qualifying. Mislic took the first set 6-3, and then he was up 5-3 in the second, and then it looks like Ugo Carabelli retired. Shithouse. It's a shithouse move, that, innit? You may as well just give him the win for that. It's irrelevant. A lot of time has passed since then. Fairly impressed with Mislic. I'd say fairly impressed. I mean, he got through qualifying fairly easily, and then he put in a decent performance against Alexander Shevchenko. I mean, how much we expect from Shevchenko anymore, I'm not too sure. 6-3, 6-4 from Mislic. Happy days. Ugo Carabelli had a fairly easy game against Radu Albot. I mean, didn't come up against much resistance in that one. Pretty much what I expected. Straight sets. Happy with that. The outright still stands. I think Ugo Carabelli stands a very decent shot at getting deep in this tournament. But we'll wait and see. I think he wins this one too. Come on, you've got to say, with it being on the clay, he is a lot more trustworthy. A lot more trustworthy on this. I'm not going to go through the records again. It's a lot of numbers, but trust me, he's a lot better on the clay than Mislic. Mislic isn't bad. I mean, 15 and 16 last year, 28-13 the year before. Yeah, not much to go off. He's played a lot more games on the clay than what he has on the hard court, but 147 to 76 overall since 2016. I don't know. So he seems to be playing a decent game at the moment. Will it be enough to get past Ugo Carabelli? I'm not too sure. Bookies have got this around. I've got Ugo Carabelli around 1.6, 1.55 to 1.6, call it that. That's an ideal parlay piece. It really is. It really is. Will it be as easy as the first match against Radu Albot? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that spreads around, 2.5, 3.5. I think Mislic is, well, I think it'd be safe to assume he'll put up more of a fight than his previous opponent. I don't think this is time for Carabelli just yet. I don't think this is how he goes out. I'd be willing to bet he gets this one done. I could take him again today if that's what I might do. Perfect parlay piece. It's speaking to me, it really is. Let me know what you think on that, folks, but we'll circle back to it and we'll crack on with the next one. We've got Richard Gasquet and Flavio Cobolli. I am not going to spend too much time on this one, although I could probably talk about this one for hours. They've played each other once before. That was 2023 on the clay. That went the way of the Frenchman. Flavio Cobolli just still isn't doing it. Still not doing it for me. It's only a matter of time, surely. Surely it's only a matter of time before this lad snaps into form. I feel like, I don't know about you, clay season, if there's ever a time for him to do it, I'd say the time is most definitely now. Richard Gasquet We could say pulled off the upset against Van der Sandschulp, but that's just like him, innit? Van der Sandschulp does that every now and then. Gasquet, great stuff there. Did he drop that first set? I think he did. Dropped the first set and came back and won 7-5, 6-1. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? You just can't write it. Um, Now, any other time, I'd have probably just looked at this and went, oh my god, Flavio Caboli, 1.5 against Richard Gasquet on the clay. Give me that all day. Um, I'm not going to do that in this spot. He's won 2 of his last 10. That's going back to the Australian Open. Elliot Spizzeri is his last win. That was in the Phoenix Challenger and he barely got past him. Got beat by Nishikori after that and then Tirante in Miami. Like I said, I don't want to take anything away from Richard Gasquet, but I've got a feeling that this could be the match. It just could. It pretty much should be the match where Flavio Caboli starts getting back into winning ways. But Gasquet's the crafty vet, man. He's a crafty vet. He's still got a little bit left in the locker. You can't count him out. You really can't. And look, forget everything we know. Just look at what we've seen so far this season. Alright, Richard Gasquet, he's won 3 of his last 10. I know where to stand with this dude. I do. I've seen enough of him over the years to know where to stand, and it's alright. Flavio Caboli, I expected so much more. So much more from him to start the season. You'd say hard court isn't exactly as strong as suit, but 26 and 13 last year. He was fairly decent on it last season. He went 3 and 7 this year. That's quite bad. He's yet to play a game on the clay as well, so how the transition's going to go, I'm not so sure. Personally, if you're betting that, I'd be staying well away from that one. I'll probably just look at Richard Gasquet for the sake of it. I'm not picking that with much conviction, but you just can't go with Flavio Caboli, can we? Look, if you can get on the right side of that, if this is the game that he just wins and you can get him at 1.5, then look, in hindsight, you'll look like a genius, but kid's been a shit. What can I say? Can't trust him. Cannot trust the guy at all. So we'll move on to well. Francisco Commissani and Roberto Batista Agut. What the fuck went on in that match with Commissani and Kilzan today? First set he dropped it. I was like, you know what? Alright, whatever, we'll see what happens. Going down 2 breaks in that second set. Oh my god, I could not believe what I was watching. But just when you think it's all over, he only goes and gets another break back. And another, wins that second set. I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know what to say about the match or the results. I will say this. Cashing that parlay today with Commissania being the last leg to hit felt fucking dirty. It did. It felt like something I wanted no part of. I don't understand how he could look so crap. And then, like, this is what I wanted to say as well. He looked really, really bad until he didn't. And then the game that he sort of discovered, when he was all but defeated, was fairly decent. You know, it weren't too bad. The first serve weren't too bad either. I just don't know. I don't know how much I can take away from it. It was a very, say, ropey performance, or it may have just been a very ropey match. I'm not too sure. I don't know. Yeah, I'm lost for words on that one. Can't believe it won. I can't believe it won. I had accepted defeat long before that match finished, and I mean long before it. You just can't write it. You really can't write it. Or maybe you can't. Nah, I don't know. Well, Roberto Batista Agut, I mean, barely got past Boo. How much did that take from Batista Agut to get that one done today? That was what? Call it 3 hours? That's a long game. That's a long game. You have to admit, at this point in your career, that's probably the last thing you need. The last thing you need, a 3-hour match against Boo, who, was quite frankly shit on the clay court. 3 and 7 since 2017. We did mention that. What do you want me to say about this? I mean, fucking hell. You think Commissani beats him today? Just hear me out. Hear me out. If you didn't like what you saw today, you're gonna fucking hate this one. But I think if Commissania plays, if he starts this game the way he finished the last one, and going off the way he started that first game, it's a big ask. I'll give it that. But if he starts this one as good as he finished the last one, I'd say he stands a very good chance against Batista Agut. Batista Agut, I mean, did he faced 17 break points today against Boo? Don't quote me on that. I did check before. I might be wrong, but it's roundabout. I'm pretty sure it was 17. You can go and have a look at yourself if you want. 17 break points against Boo. 3 hours on the court against, like I've just said, someone who couldn't be further from a clay court player. Commissania. Forget about what you're seeing today. The guy is really, really good. Really good on the clay. Can he be trusted? Can he be trusted in a spot like this? I'm not so sure. Look, I know it doesn't always, like, the math doesn't always math like this, does it? Tennis doesn't always work out this way. The sport doesn't, for that fact, but if you're good enough to beat Nicolas Jarry and you're good enough to beat Zverev on the clay, why wouldn't you be good enough to beat Roberto Batista Agut at this point in his career? Like I said yesterday, Batista Agut, he's still one of the crafty vets. He's still got a little bit left, but he barely escaped against Boo. I fear it may not be enough. Whatever he had today may not be enough against Commissania. If he can get a grip of himself and sort his shit out and stay away from whatever the fuck he was doing in that first set, if he just comes to play his game, I feel like I know he'll probably win this one. I am very, very hesitant to take that. I would be very, very hesitant, but look, you're getting Commissania at 1.7. May just be me. Everyone's a genius in hindsight, but after the result, I felt very, very foolish trusting that guy at 1.3. But I still done it. I paid me money and I took my choice. 1.3 for Commissania against Kilzan. Now I'm getting him at 1.7 against what I would imagine would be a rather tired Batista Agut. Even if he's not tired, both of them played the three-setter. You have to assume Commissania will be a lot fresher of the two. I think he may just have enough. But I think that's enough for that one. Let me know what you think. And we'll finish up with Sebastian Baez. Gabe Diallo. Getting Gabe Diallo around 2-1 as a dog there. Not bad. That's jumping out to me. It really is. Gabe Diallo looked good against Seng. It took 2 tiebreakers. I mean, he was just good enough behind serve. He's a fucking giant, this guy, and if he can serve well, I mean, he can push around the most of them. Sebastian Baez. It's clay season, folks. Sebastian Baez is usually, I'm not going to say a lock, because as we all know, there's no such thing as a lock in this sport. Sebastian Baez is usually as close as it comes to a lock early doors in clay season tournaments. As it comes, he's already won a title this year. That was in Rio, and then nearly won another one in Santiago. Had a very close game with Laszlo Djere in that one. Crap in the States on the hard court. I think we all expected that. But we're not on the hard court anymore. We're back on the clay, where he thrives. He loves it over here. I feel like you don't need me to tell you that Sebastian Baez probably would go on a fairly decent run in this tournament. Unless Gabe Diallo's got anything to say about it. I mean, is he going to beat Sebastian Baez on the clay? I wouldn't be so sure about that. I haven't seen that much of Diallo on the clay over the years. I mean, yeah, that's what I expected. 2-2 in 23, and then 7-6 last year. 1-0 this year. Very, very small sample size, is it not? I don't know. I feel like physicality could most definitely play a part in this one. Gabe is gonna absolutely tower over this guy, tower over him, and I feel like It's not always their case, but if the man's too big and the man's too strong, there's not a lot you can do. He's a fairly decent dog in that one, you know. I don't know. I don't know. I understand it's rather foolish to go against Sebastian Baez in this spot. I wouldn't be going against him. But I do feel like Diallo has all capabilities of getting this one done. I don't know, we'll see. I think Baez is just too good. He's just too good. I feel like imagine if all we played was clay tennis. There was no hard courts and no grass. What do you think Sebastian Baez would be ranked in the world? I don't know. You let me know in the comments. But that'll do us for Romania. So we still got another 2 tournaments to go through, and we're already 15 minutes in. I will. That's all right, isn't it? It's all right. I mean, who gives a fuck if it takes some time? It takes some time. We're here for the fun of the picks, aren't we? Oh shit! What have I just done? I've got rid of me fucking. That was rather foolish. Bear with me. Right, we're back over to Morocco. Got a few more in these. Some of these should be a bit quicker. I'm not really interested in a couple of these. First one we've got Vic Capriva, and I don't know. I'd never know how to say that guy's name. It's not Borna Koric. It's the other one, Croatian guy. Yeah, you know what I mean. Shit. Odds are split down the middle on this one. They have played each other once before. That going the way of the Croatian. That was it. Qualifying for the Australian Open too. On the hard court, 2-1. I feel like Vic Capriva's in a decent little bit of form at the moment, is he not? He's just won a title over in Naples. Beat Darderi in the final. I don't know. I think Vic Capriva's fairly decent. You know, from what we get from him on the clay court, he's fairly solid. You know, plays a lot more on the clay than what he does on the hard. 24-19 last year, 35-24, 32-20. You get the deal. It's pretty much identical since 2016. Fairly decent records every year. Most definitely fancies himself as a clay player, as opposed to his opponents, the exact opposite. 53-47 since 2013. Didn't play on the didn't play any games last year. Actually, barely played. I don't know. I feel like it may just be as easy as form is the factor in this one. Capriva's got he's got a clay title. He's literally just coming off a clay title. You would imagine he's got more than enough to get past this guy. I don't know. We shall see. But we'll move on to Luciano Darderi, Tristan Boyer. This will be a good one. This will be an interesting one. As I've just mentioned, Darderi did get to the final in Naples last week. Got beat by Vic Capriva, obviously, just mentioned that. Tristan Boyer didn't get past the first round in the exact same tournament. On the clay, got beat by Federico Arnaboldi, 3 sets. You're getting Darderi around 1.5, 1.6, and I think you'd be quite okay in sticking that on your parlay. I'll be honest with you. Tristan Boyer's not too bad on the clay. Past 2 seasons he's been fairly decent. 19-13, 27-15. It's a lot better than most. You've got to give him that. I think Darderi, I mean, is the one thing we know about this guy. He loves some clay court tennis, does he not? I think he does. Excuse me a sec. I think he's more than capable of getting this one done. You have to admit he's a lot more trustworthy on the surface. Tristan Boyer. When did we see him? What tournament did we see him? Miami, was it qualifying? No. I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was Indian Wells. He ended up getting past Vukic just about. Yeah. It'll be a tough game, be an interesting one to watch. I would imagine Darderi has got just enough to see that one out. But now we've got Alexander Muller, Hugo Deline. Odds are pretty much identical on this one. Call it 1.5 for the Frenchman in this. I've been very, very impressed with Alexander Muller so far this season. He's already got himself a title. Got to another final in the 500. Hugo Deline, I think we sort of knew he was going to get past Vukic, although it maybe wasn't as convincing as some may have expected. Hugo Deline, just a clay guy, and he's just one of them. Thrives on the clay. been playing clay tennis since 2007, 45 and 25 last year, still putting up fucking performances like that. You've got to give it to the guy. Um, who'd you go for in this? I think it'd be easy to look at this and say Alexander Muller all day. I've been more impressed when I've seen him do it at a higher level. Um, he's performed a lot better than what I thought he would as well this season. I'll give him that. The calibre of opponents that he's been taking on are probably, if anything, a bit better than those Hugo Deleen's faced, but it's weird on these clay courts in clay season here, because you'd say the calibre of opponents, we only say that when I say calibre of opponents, all them wins come on the hard court, basically. And, Hugo Deleen, you look at some of them and you go, yeah, maybe some of them aren't ranked as high as others, but they're at least clay guys, aren't they? The clay not specialists, but they love the clay. They do. I think Hugo Deleen stands a very good chance at winning this one, as he do with the majority of matches on this surface. I fear Alexander Muller may be a little bit too much. Look, if he can play the way we've seen him play, he won a hardcore title, didn't he? I can't remember which one it was. Was it a hardcore title? I don't know. Someone let me know what title he won earlier on in the year. It was him and like Xiami Munar in the final. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. Last time out, we seen him get beat by Cerundolo over in Miami. Yeah, I think Muller's just, no doubt he's the better player. Is he more trustworthy on the surface? I'm not too sure. Possibly. He does, you could probably say he prefers the clay. Ranked almost twice as high. I couldn't talk it off taking Alexander Muller today. I really couldn't. But we'll crack on to Roberto Carballes Baena and Otto Virtanen. Straight off the bat, folks. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but I think Carballes Baena's got this one in the bag. I'd have a lot more to say about this one, but unfortunately I do not know what happened in that Daniel Altmaier match. How he lost that. He was 4-1 up. 4-1 up in that third set, and he ended up losing in a tiebreaker. Fuck me. What is going on? What is going on? What happened with all the footage as well? Didn't all the score freeze? The footage went off, the score froze, all the lines went dead, and then all of a sudden it's a tiebreaker. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't really know exactly what happened. Someone let me know. But yeah, couldn't tell you. Otherwise I'd be able to say, oh yeah, he done this or he done that. It's Carballes Baena on the clay. Usually just take him in spots like this. More often than not, he'll come through for you. Call it 1.35, 1.4. Excuse me. I think it's just the key. You just take the Spaniard in this one. Take Carballes Baena. Don't even think about it. Otto Virtanen probably shouldn't have got past Daniel Altmaier today. I'm surprised he did. Getting past Carballes Baena is another big ask for the Finn. So yeah, it'd be Carballes Baena or not in that one. 1.35. It's a solid little parlay piece. That's sweet as a nut, I do say so myself. We've got two more over here and then we'll finish up in the States. We've got Jesper de Jong and Kamil Majorach. I couldn't tell you who wins that one. Probably go with the pole. Plays a lot better than what I thought he did. Jesper de Jong. He got it done against Johnny Bench, didn't he? 7-5, 6-1. I mean, I expected nothing less than that. How much from that I can take, I'm not too sure. Camille, I hold that win against Xiami Munar on the clay a lot higher than the win that de Jong's just got, if I'm being honest. Majorach looked decent through qualifying as well, although one of those wins was against Summit Nagal, but that's neither here nor there. You're good enough to beat Xiami Munar. I'd say you were good enough to beat Jesper de Jong on the clay anyway. Although de Jong's not too bad on this surface either. 36 and 16 last year, 38 and 10 for the pole. It may come down to the finest of margins, it may not. I don't know too much about either one of these to really give you the definitive answer, so I'm just going to stay away. And then last but not least, we've got Rafael Collignon, Nuno Boge. I was impressed with Collignon. I did say, Really liked him at that price. 1.5 against Fabio Fanini. Very nice. 6-3, 6-3. Happy days. Is he going to get past Nuno Borges? I mean, Nuno Borges is a completely different beast compared to Fabio Fanini. I don't know, I think Nuno Borges, is he the favourite to win this? It's him or Greek Sport, right? I think it's Nuno Borges, only just. We haven't seen him since that game against Sisu Bergs in Miami. Fairly decent on the clay, 126 to 58 as a career total. That's all right. That's not too bad. 14-7 last year. Rafael Collignon, as we mentioned, now I mean 50-8 last season. That's probably safe to say this kid played his best tennis on the clay last season. Why would he not at least attempt to replicate it this season? Nuno Borges, although he is a favourite to win the entire tournament, he is 1.6 on the decimal to get past Collignon. I don't know. I'd say the favourite to win this. There should be a little bit more certainty around this one than that, don't you? I wouldn't mind taking a little punt on Collignon there, but then again, it may just be a little step up in class. I'm not so certain. Collignon for the set? I don't know. I think Nuno Borges probably does beat him. He is a better player after all. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. That's going to do us for Morocco, and then over to the States really quick. We've got a couple of snidies, and then we'll wrap this up. It's been a long one, hasn't it? Who've we got? There's still a few games still going on now, isn't there? I don't know who's playing at this moment. It was Jordan Thompson when I last checked. He just took the first set off Ethan Quinn. But today we've got Mackenzie McDonald and Bina. Now the head-to-head is 4-1 to McDonald. I feel like we've spoke about this one fairly recently, have we not? We haven't. It was in Atlanta last year. Don't mind me. There's no odds for this at the moment. It's only just getting filtered through to the bookies, but we'll still talk about it anyway. Head-to-head 4-1 to McDonald. He fucking dominates this one. Smacked him up last time he played as well. 6-2, 6-4. I don't know. I still think Binak's a better player, contrary to what the head-to-head would tell me. Not much of a clay player, I'll give him that. Same goes for Mackenzie McDonald. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what the odds are on that. Can't give you a pick because I don't know what I'm picking on. I would have said Binak probably gets that one done, but apparently not. Maybe this is just one of those head-to-heads. So we'll move on to Adam Walton, is that? And Big Foe. No odds for this one as well, so it'll be quick. Tiafoe has beaten once before. Now this was fairly recently, I remember this was in Brisbane the start of the year. Tiebreaker in the first, 6-3 in the second. Adam Walton put in a decent performance against Michael Moe, 6-3 in a tiebreaker in the second. What are the odds of that? I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know what it is with Big Foe, you know. Don't know what it is with Big Foe. If it weren't for people telling me how good he was, I'd have said he was fairly overrated. They'd have said it. I don't know. I don't trust Big Foe. I really don't. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. We're not in America, are we? We're not in the States. And even this season we've seen being in the States just isn't even enough. Maybe when it comes to the US Open we'll see Big Foe just fucking blag his way to a semi-final or whatever. And it's unbelievable, innit? But you know he'll do it. But yeah, back to me point, 17th and you know, he's a good player, he is a decent player, he's the 10 times better than the player I'll ever be. I'll fucking give him that. But I don't know, man. What do you think the odds are going to be for this? I think Big Foe's going to be a massive favourite in this. I'm not too sure. He did beat him straight sets a couple months ago. I imagine not a lot has changed other than the surface. Never really does much on the clay, does Big Foe. Neither does Adam Walton. As a matter of fact, this kid must be allergic to the clay. 0-2 last year, 0-1 the season before that. 3-4 since 2015. No, I'll take it back. Big Foe probably does him. I take it all back. Nah, like I said, I'd be interested to see what the bookies have this one as, but I wouldn't be going anywhere near that. I don't. Francis Tiafoe is one of them. I like him, I really do. He's a cool guy. He's a really cool character. I do like the dude, but he's a form player for me. If we're speaking in business terms, I need to see something from Francis Tiafoe before I begin to trust him. So, coming off that loss to Artifice, you would imagine he's got more than enough to get past Adam Walton first time out on the clay. But I wouldn't be so sure. We'll see. Who's next? Wow, Kovacevic is that 1.1 on the decimal? 1.2. That's a massive favourite against this French guy. He played well against Echeverry. I'll give him that. Didn't think he was going to get that one done, but we've seen glimpses of what Kovacevic can do earlier on in the year. I know there's a really decent player in there. He's hard to beat. He can put in a really solid game when he wants to. I don't think you're going to go anywhere near this. He has been beaten by this guy once before. I imagine this was on the Challenger. I was in the Futures 2021 on the clay, bageled him, and then 6-3. I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't know enough about his opponent. Don't know a lot about this Corentin Denali, to be honest with you. He does do the majority of his business on the clay court. We'll give him that. Alexander Kovacevic, 27 and 31 for a career total on the surface. I don't know, man. I'd say if you've got enough to get past Echeverry, you've got enough to get past this guy. He is just coming off a Challenger Tour title. That was on the hard court, though. I don't know, 1.2. I feel like the writing may already be on the wall. Kovacevic probably gets that one done. But I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset. We've got Alejandro Tabilo, Jensen Brooksby. Odds are split right down the middle. We're getting Tabilo as a slight favourite. These have played each other twice before, head to head, one apiece. Both of them in the futures as well. 2016, 2018. Forget about that. Jensen Brooksby, I knew he'd beat Taro Daniel. That was pretty much a given. Tabilo last time out got beat by Casper Ruud. We knew that was going to happen, but he'll be very, very happy that we're back onto the clay. I'd say just take either one of these for a set. Jensen Brooksby's really good, He's very good. Never really was up to much on the clay, even when he was playing, consistently. But I don't know, I feel like Jensen Brooksby's still got a lot to show. He's hard to beat. He's a very good player. He knows how to play the game of tennis, that's for sure. Probably got to side with Tabilo, even if it's just ever so slightly in this spot. I feel like what I've seen in the past on the clay, I could probably trust a little bit more. But I'm not picking it with much conviction. It really is just a slight lean towards Tabilo for me. And then finishing us off, and then I will let you go. We've got Tommy Paul, Christian Garin. Now the head-to-head is actually 3-1 to Christian Garin. Can you believe that? Yeah, the last two were on the clay as well. One in Rome, one in the French Open, 3-1 in the French Open, and then 2-1 in Rome. Both of them going the way of the Chilean in that one. Christian Garin plus the points. No, I'm only joking. I don't know what to do in this one. I've got Tommy Paul on an outright. I feel like, with the field he's got here, he stands a very good chance at winning this one. Although, never really see much on the surface. Christian Garin, we do know he's event and he's definitely a clay player. Surely Tommy Paul gets this one done. I was going to say you can't be getting beat by Christian Garin. Actually, you know what I'm going to say? You're the favourite, Tommy Paul. This one's going just to you, mate. This is from me to you. You're the favourite to win this tournament. I know that you're more than capable of taking this title. Fairly certain of that. Whether you do or whether you don't, look, that's up to you entirely. But are you going to get beat by Christian Garin today? I'll ask it again. Are you, Tommy Paul, going to get beat by Christian Garin today? You haven't played each other for a couple of years. 2023 was the last time out. I feel like you have improved a hell of a lot since then. A hell of a lot. And we all do. We all do. Tommy Paul's squad, we're all rooting for you, mate. Come on, we know you can fucking win this one. Don't be letting the boys down. I'm pretty certain he gets this one done, boys. You can't be getting beat by Christian Gann. You just can't. Am I gonna bet it? I'm not so sure. I might just sit and watch this one and just enjoy it. We'll see what happens. As always, folks, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for stopping by, taking the time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Very well. Bit of a longer one tonight. I'd apologise. But what am I saying sorry for? It is what it is. Some of them take longer than others. It is what it is. It's the consistency that matters. It's the consistency that's going to keep us on top as well. You know, before we know it, we'll be exactly where we need to be. So, and then I'll be saying good night to you, folks. Yeah, like and subscribe, get your bets in, all that stuff. Anything for the baseball for the next few days, anything like that. Do get on me. I'd appreciate it. Always interested to know what you're going for. Right then, it's super late over here. My brain is turned into fucking mush. So, once again, let's go get that cash, folks. Let's go get it again today. Enjoy the matches, and I'll see you tomorrow.